Easter Sunday here in southern Ontario. So, did you see any of the kerfuffle with the rebel news at the English uh, leaders debate? It's hilarious. It really is, and it really exposes the CBC for what they are. Quick breakdown if you didn't see any of it, but first let me say the rebel news is bona fide journalism, despite what the CBC and the left-wing commentators think. Rachel Gilmore, boy, did she ever. Well, anyways, we needn't get into what Gilmore got on about. I think she's jealous of the Rebel News's number of followers. But anyways, let's get into it here. Little background's necessary. At the French language debate, the Rebel kind of had to put a bit of pressure on the committee. The committee that ran the debates. Anyways, the CBC was there as the producer broadcaster, but it was the Liberal Party and Elections Canada that ran the affair. Debate committee, I'll refer to them as. So anyways, Rebel had to say, hey, look, you got to let us in there, or we're just going to take you to the Supreme Court again, because they have twice, and both times the Supreme Court has ruled that, yes, Rebel News is bona fide journalists. Cian Brexty was there now with the Juno News. Same deal, I believe. He's had to take the Liberal government to the court for the same deal. The CRA recognizes both outfits and a lot of other independent media sources as, again, I'll just say bona fide journalists. We needn't get into it. They kind of had to change how they file what they're listed as under the CRA. That's tax here in Canada. Like revenue, used to be Revenue Canada. What do you call it in the States? Your tax department. Anyways, that goes back to Bill C-11 that the Liberal government created, law to try to stymie the economics of the independent media. We needn't get into any of that here. I've already kind of gone a little too far off track here anyways. So, in the media conference room, where they're all hanging out waiting for the debate to end, we're now moving to the 17th, the English language debate, and the leaders are going to come out for the press scrum. All the media is hanging out in there. And this guy I'll just call Mustache Man, from the Hill Times. So I guess that's a newspaper publication from Ottawa. I'm assuming, I don't know. Nobody seemed to quite know who he was. Everybody's hanging around waiting for the debate to end. It's a big cavernous room with a bunch of fold-out tables. Everybody's sitting there hanging around, kind of doing nothing. Mustache Man from the Hill Times turns to the table behind him. There's Drea Humphreys from the Rebel News and Cian Brexty from Juno News. I'm not sure if there were a couple of people at that same table or not. Mustache Man starts freaking out on Cian and Drea. I don't think Drea said anything. She just kind of sat there. I mean, it's full of press. So everybody's phone comes out, everybody's camera comes out. This guy's losing it. He's having a little tantrum. You can hear Cian go, why are you shouting? And this guy, part of what he's on about is they were mad that the Rebel News got 4 questions out of 17 the previous night at the French debate. Well, that happened because they went to the front of the line, right? They knew where the lineup was going to be for the press scrum to ask questions. They got up and went there first. They got first in line. So anyways, this guy's having his tantrum. And Ezra Levant, founder and leader of the Rebel News, is like an alleyway and one table over. And he's sitting there and he's like, dude, control yourself, man. This guy's hurling accusations. He's mad about the 4 questions. Ezra's going, hey, the CBC had 4 questions. We had 4 out of 5 of our reporters ask questions because we went to the front of the line. The guy's hurling accusations at Ezra Levant in the Rebel News about the billboard truck and money and who's registered to what and what Ezra owns. But the guy's losing it. He's having a real tantrum. And Ezra's kind of poking at him, right? He's going, you don't have your facts straight, dude, and you're out of control emotionally. I mean, collect yourself, you know. But no, the guy even rises to his feet at one point in time, and he's... So, everybody except Ezra is just kind of like staring at the guy like, whoa. And Ezra is still like, kind of baiting him a little bit, right? Like, dude, you are out of control. Somebody, I don't know if it's from the Liberal Party's team or from the debate committee, comes out and speaks to him, this woman, and I don't know what was said. She whispers in his ear, and he just sat down like a chastised grade 2 student who'd been threatened to be going to the principal's office. Boof, silence from him. Then Ezra goes and talks to somebody at the debate commission briefly, like 10 minutes max. And I gather, although I'm not sure exactly, I can't quote what the conversation was there, but it was to the effect that the CBC News is mad at you, Ezra, and the Rebel. And I imagine Ezra said nothing new there, and I could give a rat's ass. Seemed to be the gist of it. I don't know what was said. When Ezra reemerges, the CBC has already reported that they pulled his license, the license that they next day claimed he doesn't have. But whatever. And there's a press scrum waiting. They descend upon Ezra when he walks out, kind of shocked. Everybody's there. They're like, what happened? And still asking him questions about the billboard truck and whatever that business is all about. So he talks to them for about 10 minutes, and then everything kind of goes back to normal. Then a representative of the debate committee comes out and goes, well, it's been deemed unsafe. There'll be no questions from the contenders, Carney, Polyev, etc. And the whole newsroom erupts into, what? What are you talking about? There's a security issue? What? Nobody's moved. There's still a kabillion cops everywhere. It's still closed from the public. Nothing has changed. Other than this guy had his little 5-minute, 7-minute temper tantrum, and now he's sitting there like the chastised grade 2 student. But that was it. No, it was deemed a security threat, and there'll be no questions. So, the story goes on. Everybody then, while we're here with our cameras, we'll go walk around the venue outside. I mean, it's all blocked off. There's a billion cops everywhere. Oh, what's his name? And what role does he play? He's the head of the campaign for Carney anyways. Somewhere in here I have his name and his position. So that's what he is. What's his name? Menzies, David Menzies from the Rebel News is kind of chasing him down the sidewalk. Looks like he's going from one building to another or something. It's all after dark. David Menzies has his phone on the stick. It's like a camera microphone, you know what I mean? He sticks it in front of the guy. The guy swats it. And Menzies is like, what are you doing? Ah. So he's kind of chasing after the guy, who turns and wheels and goes, you touched me with that. And Menzies goes, I did not. You're a liar. Yeah. And the advanced guy, I guess he is, for Carney's tour, swats it out of his hand again. And Menzies he kind of loses it, right? You're a liar, and you're a GD liar. And Alex Lavoie is there from the Rebel News. She sees it as well, goes, yeah, you're a liar. And there was another cameraman from somebody, he swatted his equipment as well. I think that might have happened before the Rebel thing. It was a little bit chaotic. And, wow, pretty unprofessional on the Carney staff members' gig there. So, the next day, the CBC. Oh, yes. Rosemary Lardbottom. I plagiarized that from the comments on my YouTube channel. Thank you. Rosemary Barton. She has fattened well at the public trough, hasn't she? Anyways, her and the whole CBC crew have been putting it on the Rebel News, which aren't media. They're just personalities who spread mis and disinformation and are deniers and should never have been there in the first place and bullied their way in. And they created the whole situation, and now the public is denied the questions that would have been asked by the leader and our potential leaders. Wait a minute. Bit of a spin there, isn't it, CBC? So anyways, that's what the whole kerfuffle's about. The bottom line, really, I mean, I looked at this from several different perspectives, watched as much footage and as much commentary as I could from the mainstream and the independent media. The takeaway exposes the CBC for what they are, the propaganda department of the government. You know, they know who butters their bread. And the Rebel News got some fantastic promotion. They've got 30 or more members on staff, 1.7 million. I mean, they've got more viewers than the CBC, and they don't get 1.4 billion plus millions. They don't get anything from the government. Some fantastic publicity for them. So I went today and checked the comments on the Rebels version. I know this has run on, but can't condense things too much. Anyways, so I went into the Rebels site today and was checking out the comments, and there's a lot of people who have discovered Rebel News who didn't or might not have looked at them before. So, a much needed and deserved, I think, positive shot in the arm for the Rebel News, as well as Juno and Independent News. Oh, and the True North was there as well. Forget what his name is. He'd asked a question of Carney the night before, the French, but I didn't recognize him and don't remember his name. So yeah, good boost for the independent media, and a well-deserved bad look for the CBC. It was fun.